We hope you enjoy our show. We'll be starting in 2 minutes.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Collaboration Culture Podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Winborne of Kimberly Winborne LLC, and of course, Coffee and Collaborations Media. We are joined this evening by some dynamic women. I'm really excited because these are new venue owners, and some, I believe one or two already have other brick and mortar businesses, but they may have just launched something else that's new. And so I wanted to shine a light on these. Raleigh is my city. So I wanted to shine a light on these Raleigh's hot new venue owners as a part of a series. I hope to be able to give you guys new information as a result of them sharing where they are. And now, instead of reaching out to me, you can reach out to them for for new locations. Not that I mind, but when you can go straight to the source, it's always helpful. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves one by one. I'm truly excited about these women who are making moves, moving forward in spite of challenges, in spite of circumstances, in spite of several situations, and they are launching new things, and I love it. And so I'm going to start with Latangela Hyman. So tell us about your new business that you just opened, what you do, and then some of the other businesses that you already have.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for the invitation. I'm excited. I am Latangela Hyman. I just opened a location called Be the Light Christian Bookstore in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. But here, right outside of Raleigh in Nightdale, we have a Piece of My Passion Christian Bookstore where we're the only full service Christian bookstore in the Triangle. So we're excited about serving the community.
Awesome. So glad to have you. Excuse me. And then next up, we are going to introduce you to Adina Sylver. Adina has a new location that she's going to share with you. I have not had an opportunity to go to either of these ladies' new locations, but I do plan to. And I have just seen them on social media and in other in their inboxes and different things like that, just supporting and cheering behind the scenes. So Adina, I have known Adina forever because we are both hairstylists. And so it was really a proud moment for me to see her to launch into this new business. So Adina, welcome, and share a little bit about what you do and what your business, your new venue is.
Thank you, Kim. It's always so good to see you. And hello to the other ladies that are doing things here in the Raleigh area. I am Adina Sylver. I've been a hairstylist for almost 20 years. When I first started, Kim was one of the first people that I worked with. So this is very, very special. Beyond being a hairstylist, I just opened the Metro Suite, which is an intimate venue for gatherings of 50 people or less. We're kind of in between that 50 and 100 people of a sweet spot for events here in Raleigh. I also have Metro Mark, which is a digital marketing company that helps people with branding and websites and just making your business look great in a digital space. So thank you so much.
You are absolutely welcome. And then, so I'm going to go right to Azia B. I love me some Azia B. Let me take Adina is shining up there. I love me some Azia B. I have been able to work with her. I think many of us in the Raleigh area been able to work with her. She's very supportive of other business owners. She is the queen of collaboration. We have that in common. And so Azia has now opened a new spot in Raleigh. And so we want to shout her out. So let's shine a light on Azia. Let me take my
Okay, hey everybody. So I'm Azia B. Well, that's what everybody calls me. And I've been in the nail business. I've actually been doing nails for like 20 something years, but professionally a salon owner for 14. So I kind of am ready to do something else before I get old. So that's kind of what started me. And I actually retired from doing nails, but I've always, as Kim said, have been about small businesses, connecting people, and I wanted to have a space that I could be able to do so without having to move the nail tables around. So I'm excited about it.
That's so awesome. I am excited about this evening. And so what I want to do is ask that you guys take a moment. Hold on one second. Let me put on my headphones so I can have amazing sound. Just give me 1 second, you all. All right. Okay, so what I want to do is have you to share. Please share this broadcast out to someone else, especially those of you who do events or are business owners. Those of you who know someone that does events, has something coming up. I would love for you to take a moment and just go ahead and share this out to your network so that they can find out some information about these venues. But then also, let's talk about how it is to be an entrepreneur in a time that is unpredictable, such as we've just experienced with the pandemic, right? And I want to hear from these ladies, what gave you the courage to go ahead and just launch on out, even in the midst of a pandemic? And so we'll start with Adina for this one.
Well, anytime that you do business, it's a risk, whether there is during COVID, outside of COVID, there's always some risk that we assume in doing business. So this time is really like no other time. It's just a different type of risk because the pandemic was going on, but a risk nonetheless. And most business people, entrepreneurs are risky anyway. You have to be a little bit fearless when it comes to doing business. And I just decided that this time was better or as good of a time as any to do this business. People are going to be ready to get out and socialize and gather. And what a better way to do it than in an event space? And we need that, especially here in Raleigh. And I'm glad to hear there are other ladies that are providing the same, if not similar, venues and types of business. Because first, there's enough business here in the Raleigh area. Raleigh is in the top 10 cities to live in the country. And there's something that we can all do to participate in the growth in Raleigh. And that's what I love about Raleigh. We have something here that a lot of people can take advantage of. It doesn't matter what part of town you live in or where you frequent. Raleigh offers a lot within the city, and I just decided that this was a good time to step out there. And then the other reason is because, like Asia, I wanted to offer a place that people can come and use frequently whenever they needed something, and for the community as well to be able to participate and enjoy the comfort of having a space that they know that they could go to.
Absolutely. And I love that last part, how you wrap that up, because that is important. Ambiance, the atmosphere that's created in the events that you do, the meetings, the workshops, all of that as entrepreneurs, but even those who are not entrepreneurs, like, and just need to have a wedding or a reception or those sort of things at a place, you want it to be classy or at least nice enough that you'll invite others, and you want it to be welcoming. And so that's a great point. And I'll go to you next, Asia, because you have been doing this in the area. A lot of people know you for being a nail expert for quite a long time. And so, what made you sort of launch out into doing this beauty studio? What does it represent over there?
Well, I always tell people that I was just tired of moving the nail tables out. I made it work. Like I'm about the community. I'm about small businesses. But if you've ever seen the pictures, even of my events, it's always nail polish bottles back there. So, but I still, it didn't stop me because I want to help get people's businesses out there because I know, I didn't really have any help getting my business out there. So if I'm able to do so, then I want to help if I can. So, and also another thing is quite unique. A lot of ladies do acrylic, right? I don't do acrylic anymore, but I had did it for years, and they have a hard time finding a space to rent for their classes. Nobody
Mhm.
wants the acrylic smell, so that's kind of what gave me the idea. And that and other beauty professionals, usually a lot of them own suites now, so they're only limited to doing 101 classes. So
Mhm.
that's kind of where I was like, if I had this space right here, they could hold their classes. They could do the lash classes. They could do the nail classes with the acrylic or gel. So yeah, that's kind of how it came about. But other people started asking, like, hey, Asia, can I get it for a photo shoot? I had somebody do a music video in there. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I just started branching out a little bit. And I'm excited to be able to offer that. It's a community space, so it's not as private, but when people are looking for something a little smaller, a little, you got to understand it might maybe beauty professionals in there when you're doing it. But hey, it's something I've always done, and to be able to provide that, I'm overjoyed.
Yeah, and one of the things that I want to ask you a little bit later is about being in the nail industry as a African American, and just being able to even tap into the market. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Latangela, I want to give you an opportunity to answer that same question.
Well, I feel like my business is a calling for me, and it was a divine assignment. So I knew I had to open the store because I felt very led to do it. As well, surveying our community and trying to meet the needs of the community. There are no Christian bookstores really around. Lifeway, Family Christian, their storefronts are gone. So we know that there are still people who need inspiration and biblical solutions. So there was an opportunity for a small business to arise. So I'm very grateful to serve the community that way. But mainly, it was a divine assignment. Sure, the news reports and all the statistics say, whether, in some cases, this is not a good industry to go in. This is not a good time. But when you know it's a divine assignment, you just have to stay focused, stay focused and believe in what you're called to do.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I always have loved going to Christian bookstores. My mom used to take us when we were kids all the time. I think it was Sign of the Fish
Oh,
back
yes.
then. I think it was, yeah, y'all remember Sign those from Raleigh. Okay, so it was Sign of the Fish back then. And then of course came the other ones I'm not gonna name. And so when I found out about this black owned Christian bookstore, I couldn't make it to the ribbon cutting grand opening and all of that. But by spirit, I was there, as they say, I was there in spirit. And so I was excited for you, and that one is in Rocky Mount, right? You said, and then you have
It,
something already in Nightdale.
yes. So the bookstore in Nightdale, A Piece of My Passion, opened just 90 days before COVID. And it's
Mm.
funny you mentioned Sign of the Fish. In 2008, I tried to purchase Sign of the Fish,
Oh,
and
really?
they weren't ready to sell it at the time. So I started the business as a home-based business. So here
Okay.
we go.
Wow, 2008. So you've been at this for a long time, and we can put a pin in that. Consistency. I believe every single one of you just stated that you have been at this in some capacity for quite some time, whether it was working behind the scenes, getting your skill sets up as a hairstylist, whether it was trying to launch out and buy that bookstore back in 2008, so then creating your own back end store and now having the two Christian bookstores, or whether it was launching out because you didn't see opportunities and people looking like you in the nail tech space, and so you created a new door and kicked it in, and so now you see more. Asia, I don't know if you know this, but so many people were inspired by you, like being one of the first Black nail techs that people knew in this area. A lot of people, it was kind of like, oh, well, Asia did it. Oh, well, Asia did it. So being a trailblazer, and I know you may not have identified you all yourselves as trailblazers, but you are. So being a trailblazer, tell me the impact that you've been able to have on others around you that they've shared with you. And I know it is the space, but there's so much more to it, as you all know, because you're celebrating and helping people launch, and you all these different things, and your people are having new experiences. So can we talk a little bit about the impact of having a community space, and just even being a trailblazer? And I'll start with you, Asia, since I just brought you up.
Well, I mean, it was in the beginning, it was definitely rough, but I knew what I was coming into. And I don't regret the journey either, because now I remember when I moved here from Detroit in 2010. It was different for me because like we run the beauty industry there, like us Black women, we do it, the
Hmm.
hair, the nails, everything. So when I moved here and I was like, oh wow. But I said, okay, well, I know I'm good at nail art. I went and I actually broke a nail to go to different salons and see how I was treated, what their trends were. I was looking at the ladies' nails, and I was like, oh, I got this. But I did realize that I was like one of the only Black ones. I knew of maybe three other, but I was like, oh wow. So it was the hardest to prove to my own people that I could do nails, because just think it was an Asian dominated industry.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, but they can't do nail art like this. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I started doing it. And I was showing them that, hey, you can do it too. And even now they're everywhere. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. What
great feeling.
I love it. Yeah, I bet that is a great feeling. And I do hear people say that, like I said a moment ago. So what about you, Latangela? What is that? What is the impact that you've seen in the community or people have shared with you as a result of opening and launching out into entrepreneurship, being a business owner, even specifically the bookstores?
Well, for the bookstore, my most rewarding moments is when people come in and they say, we needed this in our community. We miss coming in. We need help with Bibles and apparel and everything. So that's most rewarding, and just filling that gap in our community. I also participate in some small business cohorts where we are helping launch small business. So the experience, the mistakes, the all the things that have happened over the years, it's rewarding to be able to share with people. Listen, there were times that I didn't know how I was going to pay this
I
or whatever
bet.
the case, and this is what happened. There, because sometimes people think it's so glamorous to own your own business. But there is also blood, sweat, and tears that go with it. So to give them a full picture and help people have the courage to start and talk to them about resilience and everything has been very rewarding. And I'm honored to.
Yeah, resilience and how to start are two important factors to this process, because so many people do start off wrong in business. And so, also, one of the things that happens and people feel like when they reach out to someone, they don't share the wisdom, they don't share the nuggets, they kind of hold that education in to themselves, and then they feel stuck, or they may not be able to afford at that point to go to someone else. So even like you just mentioned, being able to give some of your wisdom, transferring that wisdom over, is powerful as well. So that's one of the things I want to highlight about the impact that you mentioned. And so, Adina, what is something as a trailblazer, and then also as a community space, that you've discovered or someone has told you has made a difference?
Well, I don't know that I'm necessarily a
You
trailblazer. I
are.
wouldn't.
I'm
I would
calling
not
you.
classify myself as that. We're all growing and learning, but one of the things that I've realized here recently is that, um, and Asia has said this in her response to a question. Getting the support of others is very key to be able to make it. One of the things is to be able to make it in having a business. And I wanted to give people a space to use, but I also want to help people as much as I can. Um, Give them a space to allow their business to grow. I find sometimes that people are only rewarded or given things based on how they look and what they present to others. And really, help should be afforded to all those that can give it. Help should be afforded to all of those that will listen. And I want to give a space that can be used by all people, not based on your social status here in Raleigh, not based on what you look like, but a space that can be used by anybody and that we can collaborate and grow together. There are a lot of people in Raleigh that are doing some awesome things. And yet, I find that there's still room for opportunity for us to grow in learning about what other people are doing.
Yes.
Sometimes we see the same faces over and over again because that support is being recycled among a certain group. But I believe with the women that are here that are on this show and throughout Raleigh, Durham area, even the Triangle, there are a lot of people that are doing some fabulous things. And that's why I said I'm not really a trailblazer. I think there are a lot of people that are doing wonderful things. If we could grow in our support and in our collaboration in a way that not just a certain group can benefit, that I think then we have reached a certain level of being able to help women in business to grow and really for an opportunity for us to share what we have learned in order to get to the place that we are right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with what you just said. I really do feel like, we need each other, and we need somebody to just kind of reach back and be willing to, as I mentioned a moment ago, and to Latangela mentioned, transfer that wealth of knowledge and bring the next person up, help to bring the next person up. And the reason why I call you all trailblazers is because of the fact it's not that it. So the term feels so big. And this is something, it might be my personal development hat, I don't know, but the term feels so big. But you did something that somebody else doesn't have the courage to do. And so as a result of seeing you do it, you blaze the trail for them to follow that path. That's all a trailblazer is. And so that's why I say you all are trailblazers, because now somebody can say, well, because she did it, I can do it. And so that's why I call you all a trailblazer. Not to blow your head up, although I love edification and I love each of you, but I do feel that we are all placed here on this earth for some, at least just one person, to see something so that they feel like, okay, I can do this too. Even if it's just
Right.
one person, you blaze the trail for them. And so one of the things that I want to talk about for a moment is, how was it difficult was it very difficult, especially everybody already had a business? So was it difficult, this specific transition with the epidemic, with the pandemic rather, and how long it lasted? And if it was, what was the best thing that you did to sort of overcome those challenges through getting a new location, through, working through the shutdowns? I know the salons and all of that were shut down. A lot of stuff was shut down, then having to adjust. How did you get through it? What sort of things did you do from a personal perspective, and then maybe from a community collaborative perspective? And I'm going to go back to Asia again first on this one.
Let's see. Well, it was definitely a rough time. We were closed for like 3 months. And, I was like, wow, I had never even taken that long off of work. So I kind of got to take care of myself, believe it or not. I was doing things. I was like, whoa, it felt weird. Like, oh my God, I can wake up and just think about me today.
Yeah.
So, but it definitely put me in a space like to do something different, like, I was really just, I don't know. I just really was like, okay, Asia, you got to jump. And what better time to do it than after this? Because I don't know about you, but ladies that are in the beauty industry is changing. Mm-hmm. It's totally different. People in our age group, because I assume we're all around the same age, roughly.
30 plus.
Right. Thank you. Like that part. But yeah, I feel like we all like saw a good time and things are changing now.
Yeah.
So I just was like, okay, Asia, we got to get in front of the change. What is there a need for? Mm-hmm. What is there a need for? So, you've been wanting to have this space, so actually for me, my landlord had an extra space behind. At my location is right behind the salon. It's in the same complex. So he had kind of a good deal on it. And I just talked to him. I was nervous. I was so scared. And I was like, oh my God, like this. So once it was presented to me, then I was like, okay. And I was so nervous and scared. But I don't regret it. And it's been kind of rough now, mainly for me, because my space is it's a beauty studios. So I still have studios inside of the place, like the place is in the front, the community space. And then I have a ladies lounge. A ladies lounge is my favorite spot. But for me, like I've met a lot of people on the beauty side. They let me know that change was good, because it's so hard finding licensed people who respect the beauty industry as much as I did or do. Yeah. I still do, but I'm just looking at them like, hey, y'all, come on now. Are you serious? But like I said, so
that's a whole other show, right?
Oh, we got to do it. We got to do it. Kim, put it together. License does not mean certified. Please do. But yeah, so it's just stuff like that. Like,
we might need to come to the ladies' lounge for that one.
Queen, the invitation is open for real, because we need to. So, but I'm just glad that I have another opportunity to, still invite the beauty, because I've helped a lot of people, and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it feels good to see them growing and getting in salons, and I come to their grand openings and stuff like that. And so that part feels good. I'm just glad I jumped ahead of it a little bit.
Yeah. And you mentioned something about it being a little difficult. I want to go to you, Adina. Your location is downtown, right?
Yeah.
Where is it? Yeah, it's downtown. And so a lot of people like to be downtown. A lot of people don't like to be downtown. With that other question I asked, as far as like, pivoting the pandemic and all of that, what is something, even in your transition to a space, especially being downtown, that you've seen is, advantageous, as well as not a disadvantage, but just maybe something that you've seen as a slight challenge that you've had to tweak?
Absolutely. So I did not plan on being downtown. I actually looked in the outskirts of Raleigh to start out, and I just happened to find this place in like Azia B. It just became available, and it was within the budget. I really wanted to offer a space that could save my clients and the renters. We need a place that is affordable, so that you can't just say I had one event there, but you could say I had several. So I was looking for a place that was within a certain budget, so that I could pass those savings on to the renters. But it was not my intentions on being downtown. I honestly felt like it was outside of my reach. But being here has been great. I think it's been awesome to be downtown because everybody, like you said, wants to be downtown. It was no goodness of my own for sure. I just God bless me to be here. But with downtown comes a lot of things. Raleigh is growing. There's a lot of redevelopment and a lot of tearing down, and it's not really equipped for the small business owner. And so I think this place has served me and will serve me well for the duration that I will be here. But downtown is very widespread in the fact that there are a lot of outside companies outside of the state that are moving here and that are claiming areas. And so there's a lot of growth, a lot of construction. And as we all know, as small business owners, we have to find our place. We can't really compete with the large companies that have millions of dollars, but I think there's a space for us to be in. And I just planned on making it the most that I can make it and rock it out while I'm here. So I've enjoyed being here. I try to offer the best customer service that I can with everything that I do. And that goes a long way, especially when you're in business.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. The fact that you're just trying to rock it out and do what you can do to provide the best customer service. You're pivoting as you need to, and you'll see what happens. It's just like a faith leap to see what happens. And so I love that. And so Latangela, the same question for you as far as the adjustments, the pivoting, and also anything else that you may want to add as far as, because you're in 2 locations too. So is that a challenge for you and the creation of the bookstore and that journey? So the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. So I want to talk about the Nightdale location first because the Nightdale location had opened 30 days before COVID hit.
Right.
So the first thing is I had to calm my fear because I'm like, I just
That's
opened this
real.
door,
That's
what just
real.
happened? So yeah, just I'm a woman of faith, but at the same time, I'm looking at I got a mortgage here, a lease here, and so COVID hits. I got vacation Bible school out the wazoo, and the churches are closing. So I had to deal with my own fear first, and be like, calm down, do what you know, and when you can settle yourself and remember that you're on an assignment and your purpose in serving people, then I had to become creative and think about, okay, what's going to be needed? And we had to come up with things like small bags to give with communion purchases because people were then doing drive-by communion. Everybody was anointing themselves when COVID hit, so we had a bunch of anointing oil. So once you can calm down and really remember your assignment and think about your customer, not yourself, we were able to be creative enough that we really, even though we closed down, we opened as a bookstore. We were an essential business, so we were able to open some and just be real cautious. And so God is just faithful that we were profitable the whole time. And so now when it came time for me to open the Rocky Mount location, I still went through all this, boggling of the mind where is this a good time because it's COVID and everything. But there was such a need and such a demand and an urgency that I felt spiritually to go ahead and open the store. And one of the young ladies mentioned earlier the need for support. And I'm very grateful that I had so much support in opening it that I just said, you're walking on water. You just need not to turn around and get back.
Yeah.
So it all, when we're trusting God to do something that we feel so led and called to do, He always sees us through.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's rocky and it's difficult and it's a lot of work and it's a lot of I'm just on the edge of whether or not I'm gonna have enough for this or whatever the case, but it all works out.
It all works out, and you mentioned faith a few times, and one of the things, not to go too deep into anybody's personal relationship with God or anything, but one of the things that I have learned in my journey, my entrepreneurship journey rather, is that having faith and taking risks go together, for me. And so it helped to strengthen my relationship with God. And most people that watch me know that I'm a strong believer of Christ. But for me, that's what strengthened it. And so I would love to talk about sort of like the mental health component of being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, because you all have talked about it being difficult, it being challenging, having some sort of a leap or jump, as well as faith. And so what is that daily sort of intention to make it through the day, like from start to finish? Because you're dealing with customers, you're dealing with your own clients, you might have something else that you're doing. Some people are entrepreneurs but also still work a 9 to 5, so you may have children, you may be juggling a relationship, a spouse. So how is it that you are able to do all of this and maintain a great mental health? So let's talk a little bit about that, especially with May being Mental Health Awareness Month. And we see a lot of people who are out here, influencers, a lot of people who are out here that people love and are looking up to, but in the end, they are struggling behind the scenes. And so can you share a little bit? I'm gonna go back to you, Asia. Can you share a little bit of what helps you to stay balanced or stay well through all of the ups and downs, and kind of what's your day like when it comes to mental health?
Every day is different. Because like I said earlier, I kind of just retired from doing nails in January.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do it anymore. Like, I didn't want to provide it as a service. And I just didn't want to keep having doing this for the rest of my life. I wanted to do something different. And, so I tried to do a little mentoring. That was very fulfilling. So it's day to day, but I will say, I know social media can be kind of a weird place, but when I look at Kim and when I look at other people and I see y'all doing it, Adina, I've even followed you on Instagram and I was like, whoa, I remember you was kind of like teasing us with it. Like, it's
Yes,
coming.
she was.
I remember the colors and I remember everything like that. So all those things, kind of like the ladies that I really know that are out here really doing it, I'm like, sometimes I just look to them for it. I'm like, okay, I don't feel like doing it today. But I look and I'll see Kim is getting up, doing her thing. She's being consistent. So I will say that sometimes those things have helped me a lot. And also just knowing that I have a supportive husband. I love my glam baby. I have 2 of those. So sometimes those things, they help me because it's rough.
Yeah, that's good. Leaning on your family, leaning on your community. And that's why I think it's really important, Asia, to follow people that you
Yeah.
can get motivation from, that will inspire you and all of that, instead of following people that might make you like have something to gossip about. Like, really being intentional about about who you follow and what they're saying, and who you're around, because it may not be even about social media all the time. Like you said, you talked about your family, your glam babies and all of that, your husband. So who you're around and how they're pouring into you. So I appreciate you for sharing that. And let's go to you, Adina, with mental health.
Well, I think one important thing to do is to stay focused. Right now, social media is super big, it's huge, and people use social media as a resource. But social media sometimes can be a false reality. People show you what they want you to know. I put every single table together in the venue myself. Sometimes people don't see the hard work, whether it be physical, mental, financial, that goes behind having a business. This is hard work. And the only way it's going to work is if you put the work into it. Support is great, but ultimately, if you have a plan, you have to execute that plan in a way that's going to produce something. There's nothing that we can get in this world that we don't have to put hard work into. Um, And I think that's something that we're missing when we tell our stories and our journeys and give people um, a lens into what being a business owner is. It's not about a vehicle, it's not about a stack of cash. I mean, ultimately, we're doing things to hopefully be profitable, but there's a lot of stages and a lot of growth in between that. And I think sometimes we're just seeing the end goal for a lot of people and not seeing what is led up to that. And you
Yeah.
can't be distracted by that. You have to be focused. You can't compare yourself to other people. You have to stay in your lane. There are a lot of things now that are very niche oriented, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to learn to stay within the confines of what we are supposed to do, not
Yeah.
what other people are doing, and just staying focused,
Yeah.
putting in the hard work, being disciplined, whether that be being financial discipline or being disciplined with your time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of time that has to go into doing a business. It's
Yeah.
not something that you can't there's that goes without sacrifice. And I say it now more than ever. I wish I lived a normal life where I could hang out with my friends when I wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not right there. I'm in grind mode. And I mean, I get to do it sometimes, but not
Yeah.
as much as I would like to because I have a goal in mind. I'm trying to get the businesses to grow. And so I think it's important that we're honest with people about what it means to be a business owner. It's not just about wearing fancy clothes and having nice things. It's
Yeah.
hard work. It's staying up late at night. It's making sacrifices, whether it be with your family, your children, yourself, and just being around people that are supportive and that understand that can
Yeah.
help you mentally as you go through this journey. So I know we talk about the glamorous things about business, but I really want to shed light on the hard work and really be honest with people. You know, there are a lot of things that people are offering right now when it comes to business.
Mm-hmm.
But I think sometimes people are not giving people tangible information that they can go home and implement right away that
Yeah.
can give them the results. People are telling a lot of things that are just so spaced out. But I want to tell people that it takes hard work, it
Mm-hmm.
takes dedication, it takes being patient because nothing happens overnight.
Yeah.
And you just have to be patient and you have to work hard, stay focused, and really put in the time and be
Yeah.
good to people. The only way you're going to
Ooh.
last in business is if you are good to people. You
Yes.
have to treat people in a way that is going to come back to you. So
Yeah.
that's my advice.
In every way it's going to come back to you too, because one of the things that I have learned, I like to be good to people just anyway. Like, why not? Like, why why not just be good to people? But one of the things about that is that it puts you in and before in rooms and before people that you may not have the opportunity, because somebody's thinking about you in a situation where you don't even know they're thinking about you, but it's just because you treated them well, just because you were kind. And I think we probably, those of us who are in the service industry, have had to learn that maybe even sometimes the hard way. But everybody's not going to be happy all the time. That's just the nature of business. And so we can't be reactive. We have to be proactive. We have to be good to people. We have to be willing to apologize. And so back to what you were saying, as far as that being a good return, it's a good return mentally to me too, because when I'm good to somebody, and I feel the joy coming from them, then it makes me feel good as an entrepreneur. And you touched on so many points, I can't even go back over them. Like, you said such good information. But I believe that one of the things that really stood out to me that you said is about the fact that it seems so glamorized to be an entrepreneur. And I just want to say this: for me, entrepreneurship, this is what I talk to people about all the time. It is just a choice. And so, just like in the 9 to 5, somebody's making $25,000 a year in your entrepreneur, and somebody else is making billions in your entrepreneurship journey. it could be the same way. And so let's talk a little bit about success and what that means for each of you in your business, what that day looks like, a successful day. So for some people, it's going to be finances. For me, I have never been focused on just money. I focus a lot on service and what I could give back. And then as a result, I've always had what I needed to have in order to not just sustain my family and myself, but to also give back to others. That's a part of my core values, to be a giver. And so that's something that's very important to me. And I have to think about that when I'm thinking of you talked about, something else you said. You talked about people being able to give a plan or give a coach giving somebody an idea, but maybe not the application of it. And so many people sort of failing as a result of just having the skateboard dream or what have you, but maybe not having the tools to be able to apply it. And so that's the way that I took that. Like, vision is amazing and vision casting is amazing, and we have to see the vision. What's it, write the vision and make it plain. But we also, it coupled with faith, an application coupled with consistency and some of the other things that you said, and then transformation. So every day getting set and centered and grounded in order to be able to face others. Getting up and having a regimen, whatever that is, if it's meditation, where you're praying, if it's just quiet time, whatever it is to start your day. Some people get up with a cup of coffee and don't. I know women, mothers, who get up really early so that they can have 30 minutes to an hour to themselves where they don't have to do anything for anybody. And so those things are really very important to life itself, but especially entrepreneurship, in my opinion, because that's what I do. But in order to get yourself centered for the day. So Adina, you said so much. You see, I had so much to say after after you, and then the ladies said so much as well. Like, you guys have such great wisdom around entrepreneurship. But one of the things that consistently stands out is that word, being consistent, whatever it is. So let's talk as we wrap up about success and what that looks like for you. What are your expectations of you around success, whether it's daily, monthly, yearly? What does that look like for you? And we'll start with you, Latangela.
Sure. It's success. My definition of success is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Now for me, success used to be about a profitable day or month.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now for me, people are my biggest asset. And particularly as I start to hire people and have employees, I was extremely just overjoyed today because my day went crazy, and I wasn't able to spend time with my employees, but they were able to function and exceed my expectations. So success to me is also being able to impart the necessary skills and help other people grow and meet their needs and empower them. I think as you grow in business, things shift to, okay, I just wanted to, make money, or I wanted to, have a good day or have everything a person needs when they come in. But now I'm looking to develop people more, and I'm seeing that. And so I'm just overjoyed. And it's not because I'm such a great manager. I am so learning. And I tell my employees all the time that, and they're not employees, they really are a team. We're a team. And I tell them all the time, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it, because I've made every mistake you can think about in this business. So we can probably fix it.
Yeah.
And so it takes the pressure off of, I got to do all of this right all the time, because none
Yeah.
of us, part of entrepreneurship is none of us get it right all the time. We are always learning and we're improving. So success to me is that growing, improving process and being able to transfer that and teach others and help them with their confidence and with building their skills.
I love that. Like every single thing you said. And one of the things you said made me think about what someone else said a moment ago about comparing to others, because I remember being along the journey of entrepreneurship and doing that. And I remember clearly hearing, on the journey to success, do not compare yourself to others. You will be defeated by comparing yourself to others. So that's sort of like my motto in my business. On my journey to success, don't compare to anybody else. And then I got this other, like, it was my hashtag for a while, beat your best. And so what you
Yes.
said made me think about that. So if I'm focusing on what I did yesterday, and if I felt successful in that, and then the next day, okay, how can I make that better? I'm beating my best from yesterday and improving and moving forward, instead of focusing on what Sally or John or somebody else is doing over there, because I can't only water my grass and keep it green. And so that's
Yes.
been one of the things that when you could easily get hurt by certain scenarios, like somebody, you talking to them and the next thing you know, they did your idea, or just different things. And I had to come to that conclusion. There's nobody other than me that's me. Right. And so even if somebody takes the vision or takes the idea and runs with it, it's mine. And I'm the only person that can do it the way that God showed me. And so, anyway, don't compare to others. Beat your best every
Yes.
day. So, when you said that, made me think of that. And then I want to go to Asia as far as success looking. What does that look like for you?
Well, right now where I'm at, um, success to me, when I look at these girls growing and doing like their business, we actually got some big news that we're going to share with everybody. But it's me and one of the girls who she came from, like, I don't know, just pouring into people and seeing them grow. To me, that's success, because money is not gonna, like, money comes and goes, and you can have a lot. Like me, I decided to go from commission, and I know my hairstylist and the y'all understand what it is. So I had a commission salon, which made way more money than a booth rental situation. So I decided, hey, everybody would think, oh, you're successful because you're bringing in money, but I know I wasn't happy, so I've changed things around. And so pouring into people and seeing like people grow and really focusing in on saying, helping them get to their next level, to me that is success. When I see them doing their thing, opening their salons, when I see them growing, or it could be something small, I'm like, hey queen, you did that. Like, to me, that is success. Now that's how I define it, helping others.
Yeah, I love that. And one of the things, Asia, I love about you, you are consistent with the queen, calling everybody a queen. And I want to shine a light on that, because so many women do not know that they are queens. And so you are
Mhm.
daily boosting someone's confidence in some form or fashion, just from affirming from your mouth to their ears that they are a queen. So I want to shout you out, because every text, every email, every post, like everything I see, you are consistent with that message, and it's necessary. And so I want to shout you out for that. That's
Thank you.
a part of your brand that I love. You're absolutely welcome. See, Adina is shaking her head. Yes, right. Very consistent. All right. And
Yeah.
so, Adina, your version of success.
I'm really customer focused. I think in order to be in business for the long haul, it's about how we treat our customers.
Yeah.
And I really define success as in that we have achieved something that you needed and you had a pleasurable experience. That really is success for me, is
Hmm.
that when someone has entered my business or entered the space, that they enjoyed it, that they were satisfied, that they had a great customer experience. Because really that's what keeps people coming back. I learned that, like you said earlier, in the salon, I think our industry, like a lot of other industries, have become very ego focused, and it's
Hmm.
not about um, thank you for allowing me to service you. Is more you should be glad I'm servicing you. And I
Yes.
really try to take the approach that this is about the customer, this is about the renter. Thank you for allowing me to service you. Thank you for choosing the Metro Suite as the place for your event, because you didn't have to do it. And for you to leave here and have had a great experience and have been satisfied, that is the ultimate success. If you can speak well about the business, and not necessarily about me, but well about the business, I think that is the best kind of success. And that, again, how we treat people, I'm big on that.
Yeah. I am too. I think it's everything that you said. I just put my stamp on it. You're so right. And I think that helps with longevity as well. Sometimes you do have to shut down or you change some things, like Asia retired, but you want to leave it where people are like, oh man, I miss you because you were so good to me. I miss you because you were on time, or just whatever it is. I miss that. That's how you want to leave things. And being good to people, I absolutely echo that. That's successful. Everything that you all have said, I can put my stamp on. And so, as we wrap up, I want to ask you, because I don't know specifically if you have some things coming up this month, or you're already doing things that people can plug into regularly. I would love for you to share maybe a weekly event, monthly event, or what have you, that people can plug into, or something that you have coming up that we can look forward to. And so I'll start with you, Asia.
Okay. So I have started recently monthly networking events. So, networking is big now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to connect. Collaboration is everything. So, I have those once a month. They're usually on a Wednesday, and I've met all different kind of people. So,
Mm-hmm.
hey, everybody's welcome. It's a free event. I've actually collaborated with another business who offers a little wine, and she makes charcuterie boards. You never know what you're going to get. So, and
Yeah.
we play jazz, and so it's just a little, and it's after work, so it's like 6:30. So people
Mm-hmm.
who are getting off work, they can come and grab a glass of wine and just mingle with other business people. So it's been very successful. I'm
And
happy
you said
about it.
that's every Wednesday? Well,
Well,
how
it's
often did you say?
once a month. Once
Okay,
a
once a
month.
month. Uh-huh.
This month is on the 18th. That's a Wednesday, 6:30 to 8. I do have an Eventbrite only because I want to keep a head count so we can have the appetizers and everything enough for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
Wednesday networking over at Asia B's Beauty Studio. So make sure you all get the information. It's scrolling across the screen. It sounds like a great event on May 18th, and it's monthly. So make sure to get in touch with her so you can follow her social media, which is also scrolling across the screen, so you can stay in touch and stay in the know. And I'm going to have to make it over there. I probably can make it then, because I was struggling. I won't say struggling. I need to stop saying that. But school was no joke. And so now I can breathe for a couple of weeks. And so I can go out and do it. Y'all know I love to network and just haven't been able to as much as I'd like. So I'm going to try to get over there, Asia, to check you out. And so, Adina, you got anything coming up or anything we need to know about over at the Metro studio?
So we
The Metro Suite,
typically
I'm
host.
sorry.
No, it's okay. We host events. The Metro Suite host events once a month, but we leave the space open for people to rent for their private celebrations and gatherings, which is always available. We're actually I think, still one of the only venues that offer online booking.
Mm-hmm.
So it puts the renter in control. They can book their own event through our website, themetrosuite.com. And there you can find any upcoming events that we are hosting. Over the summer, we're going to have some things, wine tastings, and some, hopefully join in with Asia B on some networking.
Yeah.
And with the bookstore, definitely want to open it up for you all to use the space whenever you'd like. I'd be more than happy to have that happen.
Awesome. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Collaboration.
Yes. Let's do it.
Awesome. So we need to head over to the Metro Suite and do some networking, as well as some other things, whatever pops in our beautiful minds, in order to do over there. So Adina has opened the floor or invitation for us to go. So we're gonna go. We're gonna skip on over. And then lastly, Latangela, you got anything coming up that we need to know about?
Yeah, we thank you. We regularly support local authors, and so we're reviewing books, but watch our social media for who's next. We had our first book signing at Be the Light in Rocky Mount last week, and it was a success. One of the most exciting things that's happening at Be the Light, our first one, we're having praise and paint parties at our Rocky Mount location. Yeah, some fun and some painting and some fellowship. Our first one is scheduled for May 21st, but that's going to be a private one. So keep posted to our social media, follow us, and you'll see what's coming up soon.
Awesome. Praise and paint. I had just told my someone in the praying CEO that we need to do a prayer and paint party. So we
Yeah,
can pray, praise, and paint.
come on, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so got to get over to I never finish those pictures. I think I get distracted. I don't know, but but I always come home with like a half picture. But I'm there and I'm engaged. Oh, Miss Sheila is on. Yes, prayer and paint, Miss Sheila. She's the owner of just SJ Hall Arts. And so yeah, that would be great. Oh, hi Sharenia. There's some of my praying CEOs on here. I didn't know. Hey
Oh
ladies,
wow.
thank you for joining. All right, so we are wrapping up. I want to thank these ladies for joining this evening. This has been, I think, an amazing conversation. I hope I'm not alone in that. And I'm looking forward to all of these collaborations that we were talking about during this live show. I'm looking forward to seeing you all continue to connect with one another. And I'm looking forward to hopping to each of your locations to be able to see them for myself. Like I said, I'm going to take this next couple weeks and try to get out a little bit more. And so this has been amazing. Thank you once again. And for those of you who are watching, be sure to follow them. I've had their information on the whole entire time, so I hope you've been able to write it down. Follow them on social media so that you can just see and stay in the know of what's happening. Maybe if they have a newsletter, you could subscribe so you can stay in the know if you're not one who really does social media like that. So however you need to stay plugged in. People are always asking me for event venues. We have 3 new hot venues in Raleigh that have opened that are able to be a resource to you in some capacity. So just when you go, tell them you found out about it from me, but you don't have to call me. You don't have to call me anymore. You have the information. Y'all know I love talking to y'all. You know I'm playing. So anyway, it was my goal to be a resource and I love it. But now you have the information. Thank you, Angela, for joining. She said great tips and I wish you many blessings on your businesses. So if anyone is available this weekend, the last thing I just want to say, I'm having a sister to sister, mother-daughter tea on Sunday at 3 p.m. So for anybody that wants to get dressed up, put on your fascinators and come on and join. Just reach out to me and get that information. I would love to have you. Outside of that, we have wrapped up this show. We are Coffee and Collaborations. Please follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. We're on YouTube under Coffee and Collaborations Media. We have Love and Flow TV. We also have the Counterculture Show, which just relaunched recently. We have sponsorship information, advertising opportunities, so forth and so on. So make sure to stay plugged in. If you would like to reach out to us for anything, even to be on our show, just go to info@coffeeandcollaborations.com. Y'all have a great
Thank
rest of your
you.
Tuesday.